Let's see how to set up master data in Visual Hospital Manager. Here you can see master details. There are laboratory names, for example. This is where you can define the laboratories or diagnostic centers. And then this is where you basically specify the tests which are under different diagnostic facilities. And you can then define 7 rates. So these are basically category 1 to category 7 price lists. And we will talk about this a bit later. Here I can define a memo for ASO titer and whatever are the parameters that I want to write. So this is kind of a report template that I create for this particular test. This becomes capital M if you see if there is something in it. So this is how basically you define all the laboratories and diagnostic centers and the test under that. Next, this is the diagnosis list which we have by default provided. You can go on adding new diagnosis if required. Procedure details, operation details. Here, for example, you can define the procedures, and for suturing, if you want to define some notes, you can keep them here. Now, whatever you write here could be directly imported into the EMR or electronic medical record of the patient. So putting some kind of a text here or template here is very useful. You can add new procedures or you can remove the procedures that you don't perform in your hospitals. Then next would be the operation details. This is where we defined all the possible operations. You can remove whatever you don't do and you can add new operations. Same way you can also define a memo for the operation, which is a predefined text that can be imported directly into the operation note. Again, you can specify 7 prices for each operation pertaining to each price list. Then next would be prescription dictionary. Now, this is where you can define nomenclature or words that are used in medicine prescriptions, and then you can define them in respective language. So in Marathi, how it looks. Hindi, for example, once a day, din mein ek bar, 2 times a day, din mein do bar, so and so forth. And then when you print Marathi, Hindi, or Gujarati prescriptions, these translations would be used to be printed on the page. You can go on adding new words and translations. Then there is bill breakup. So, for example, if I say indoor and OPD services, I can define all the services that are billed to the patient. And then we can also set up the sequence in which that can be printed. So you can go on adding the services under different groups. And then this is where you basically define the wards. So this is the general ward I have defined, and then rooms under the ward I have defined here. This is a semi-special ward I have defined, and the rooms under this particular ward I have defined here. Again, you can have 7 prices, 1 per price list or the category. Next, you can define stock, basically bandages and so on and so forth, whatever stock you use, or you can define medicines here. So I have already defined groups here, and for this particular group, I have added these medicines. For each medicine, I define here a dose, for example, 1. Then it's an injection, 1 injection. Probably I want to have it once a day. So this is how you can go on defining the medicines. And once you select Picasin 100 there, all this information that we have filled in will automatically populate there. Then you can define consultant information. So people who are working as consultants in your hospital, you can define them, and normally their visit charges you can define here. You can add any number of doctors as they come along. And then referring doctor's details. Now the thing is, you don't have to really come here to add a referring doctor when you are adding a patient. If he is referred by somebody who is not in the list already, you can add the referring doctor's name then and there itself without breaking the entry of the patient information. So that is another way you can add referring doctors, or you can do it from here as well. Then here we can define account groups and account heads. So for example, these are different account heads we have put in there as a sample. But for cash in hand, you can define a cash book, for example. For salary, you can define employee names and those kind of a thing. This is not a accounting system, but there are some basic accounting heads and groups that are required for operating stock purchases and stock issues, those kind of things. Then you have checklist. These are basically sort of a checklists. So this is a pre-discharge checklist I have prepared. So check final discharge card, check dues with the billing selection, billing section, so and so forth. So this kind of checklist you can keep ready and you can just print it and give it to the nurse or the ward boy to make sure that all those items in the checklist are taken care of. This is very handy many times. And then there is prescription library. Now here, for example, let's say for appendicitis, severe condition, I have put in this particular prescription in the library. I would like to make this one and then this also one. Okay. And then I save this prescription. Now for acute appendicitis, I could have moderate, mild, severe, or multiple variations depending on the case. And then once I have all those here, I could just select this name while prescribing the medicine. So all these medicines which I've defined for that particular variation of the prescription will automatically load into the medicine prescription form. And then you can just click on Marathi, Hindi, whatever, and it will print the prescription. So it's just a matter of seconds once your prescription library of the medicine prescriptions is ready. And it may take some time because when you're prescribing to the patient, from that form also you can add whatever you have prescribed into the prescription library for the said diagnosis. And that is how the library will go on building and it will become really easy to prescribe. So these are basically how you set up master data after you start Visual Hospital Manager. Thank you.